Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Panel, your show about comics and everything pertaining to. I'm Spin Dash, and with me, as always, is Jules.
Hi.
And the Space Chief.
Hello, and for the purposes of tonight's show, I will be the Savage Space Chief.
The Savage Space Chief. Then I'm going to be Spin Dash Max.
Oh, no, you don't want to do that. You Spin Dash and the X-Men would be better.
Spin Dash and the X-Men. So, let's go ahead. Let's kick in. We got a lot to cover tonight. Let's go ahead and kick in with New Comic Book Day. So, let's see. Jules, let's start with you.
Okay. I have 2 picks and then one that I just want to brag about. So I picked My Little Pony. This is number 7, and it's a really cute story. If you're not reading My Little Pony right now, you have to read it. The art is fantastic. I think if there was absolutely no words in it, I would still just sit there and just stare at it because it's so beautiful. It's so pretty. And then and it's just really cute. Like, my favorite part in the whole story was Spike, because he's going off to be a hero because he loves Rarity, and she's possessed right now. And she tries to trick him into saying, "Oh, it's me." And then there's this picture of them getting married right here. But he doesn't fall for it, and he's like, no, I want Rarity back. So, yeah, this is really cute. I'm really excited for the next one. My daughter read it, and she's like, she started going back to read all the other issues, and we dug them out, and now we have to go through and read them all.
That is the sign of a good comic book, one that doesn't even need words in it. Then you still enjoy it.
The art is just great. I love this. And then my second pick is Nova, number 4. I really like how he's kind of coming into his own, being a superhero, doing a little bit more right now. But the end of this was really what got me. So I'm really excited to see what happens in the next issue. Will be number 5. You didn't really see a lot of Rocket in this one, which I was kind of sad about because he's one of my favorite characters in this. I really like him.
Well, as we know, he's currently in London with Iron Man and the rest of the Guardians.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
He's indisposed of right now. And then this one I just picked because, okay, so it's issue 29 of Wolverine and the X-Men, which somebody recommended to me. And I love this. And of course, Jason Aaron writes it, and he writes Thor, and I love Thor. So I picked it up, I read it. It's really good. It's a really good Wolverine story. And it has a little bit of time travel in it, which is what I really like. So you get to see him older, I should say.
Older.
Yeah, because he kind of is old, but
I told you it was a pretty good jumping on point, didn't I? You didn't have to read the last 28. This is a good jumping on point.
Absolutely. This was a great jumping on point for me, and I was so excited that I wasn't I want to go back and read the rest, but I wasn't totally lost. I know what's going on. So, yeah. So those were my picks. And Battlestar Galactica 1, I actually really liked, too. I don't know if that's really a pick, but I loved it. It was good.
We all love Battlestar.
Yeah, I liked it.
If you don't like Battlestar, you are wrong. You are fracking wrong.
I was just talking about that with Spin, and I said that one of my favorite parts is that they went retro with the old look of it, but they kept the modern kind of dialogue with it, which is what I liked.
Mm-hmm.
The only bad part is no Katie Sackhoff.
I know. She's great.
The old Star book was great, but, I love me some Katie Sackhoff. All right, Chief, what do you got for us this week?
All right, my number, I'll count down to 1 to my favorites. So I will do first.
Do I need 2 hands to count down?
No, I only have 3 books and an honorable mention this week, so there's only 4. All right, this week I've got Iron Man number 10, The Secret Origin of Tony Stark. I think this is brilliant. what they're doing right now with Howard Stark. Apparently, what's going on is Iron Man is finding out where he truly comes from, and that there was some alien hijinks maybe involved. And one of the things I love is it's going back to. I mean, this is taking place before Tony Stark is born. This is Howard Stark's story right now, and it shows him assembling this team to bring Tony about, and it's all of these great people from Marvel's history coming together to help Howard Stark, create Tony Stark. And he goes so far as to go to Wundagore Mountain to meet the High Evolutionary to see if he can help his wife conceive. And I mean, it's a very cool story. And what's going on? Apparently, there's this major alien conspiracy going on this is back in the 40s, I assume, or 50s, whenever Tony Stark's originally supposed to be born. But right now, it's very cool. It's got Thunderbolt Ross is one of the guys, Dum Dum Dugan is one of the guys, and it's a really good story. My next pick is Nightwing number 20. I'm loving Nightwing. I think Dick Grayson is easily as screwed up or more screwed up than Bruce Wayne, especially after the events of Night of the Owls and Death of the Family, everything that went on with that. My other reason is because Nightwing now resides in Chicago, which is one of my hangouts. I have a lot of friends and family in Chicago. We're there all the time, and I'm glad we finally have a superhero in the town where I spend a lot of time. So that was my next pick. And my number one pick this week, you may have seen my review, Dream Merchant number 1. I think we might be frozen here. Can you guys still hear me and everything?
Yep, and we can still move.
Things freeze up. Dream Merchant number 1. If you read my review, I gave it a 10 out of 10 on art and story. The art is fantastic. It goes back and forth between the darkness and kind of gloom of the real world, and then all these reds and pinks and stuff of the dream world that this guy goes into. But it's about this kid, and he has these weird dreams, and as he gets old, he's an adopted kid, and his adoptive parents are kind of abusive to him. And as he gets older, these dreams become so vivid he can't distinguish them from reality, and they put him in a mental institution. And then you come to find out, he meets this girl, Anne, and then things start to happen, but you come to find out that he's not crazy. I mean, he's really able to travel between these dimensions, between the dream world and the real world. And it's very cool, and now he's going to, the Merchant of Dreams comes to his aid, and now they're on the track to being on the run from these dream world creatures and being trained to hide and defend himself in the dream world from these things. So this is really great. I was not familiar with either of these guys' work before, Nathan Edmondson or Konstantin Novosadov, I think that's how you say his name. But this is an excellent book.
Now,
I'm sorry,
this person that they're having to ward themselves off from, is he a badly burned person in a red and green striped sweater with knives on his fingers?
No, they're actually kind of, what are those things called? You know the things in Harry Potter? I can't remember what they are. The
Dementors?
Dementors. They're kind of like that in a way.
I thought we were going to get a panel. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
You know what I thought when I read that? I thought that the Dream Merchant guy was the kid, but older. That's what I originally thought.
I'm starting to think that, when the kid's buying when they're, I don't know, is that in Mexico where they're at, and then the guy's got the little cart, and the kid wants to buy the dream from him. I thought that was like a future flash forward at first, but it may be. Who knows? It could turn out to be that. It could be him coming back to himself in the past. But also, I have one honorable mention this week before I wrap it up, and it is the Adventure Time Playing with Fire graphic novel. This is excellent. It's black and white. It reminds me of old school Dark Horse, back when a lot of their books were in black and white. And it's a complete, original, brand new story. It's not just a repackaging of the early Adventure Time titles. It's one whole complete story beginning to end with the Flame Princess. And Jules, you need to go get it because it's awesome.
I know. I'm going to go get it.
It shouldn't be too hard to find. I don't think it's breaking the bank anywhere, so it should be pretty easy to pick up. And that's my picks for this week.
Awesome. All right, now for my picks, I have 3 and an honorable mention. So my first one is going to be the final issue of Sword and Sorcery featuring Amethyst, issue number 8. I have followed Amethyst since the first issue, which was the first issue of Sword and Sorcery came out during 0 month when DC did 0 month, so it was 0 issue. And as you know, she was on our top. She was in our top 10 females in comics. And this issue, what I really enjoyed is when you know a book's going to get canceled. When out of the blue they say, "Hey, it's going to get canceled." Sometimes it seems like they try to cram so much into final issues. This one I thought was paced very well. I don't think it went too fast. Amethyst against Eclipso, and just some action. Amethyst coming into her own, accepting who she is, saying a lot of nasty things towards Constantine, because Constantine is the whole reason Eclipso is there in the first place. And what I really enjoyed at the end of the book, it said "the end?" ? So I'm wondering, are we getting more Amethyst? Is it not going to be Sword and Sorcery featuring Amethyst? Are we actually going to get an Amethyst book? We know she's been with the Justice League Dark, and we know that she has some hatred for Constantine. Maybe she'll show up in the pages of Constantine. But last issue, there's been 8 issues of Amethyst, so it should be pretty easy. If you haven't picked it up, you can go back, pick up the back issues. But beautiful art, beautiful story by Christy Marks. So that's my first pick. My second pick.
With Eclipso in that book, did that ever cross over with the Black Diamond probability with
Yes.
Team 7 and Catwoman? Oh, then I need to go back and get those. I missed those.
The Black Diamond plays a part, very much so, in this. My second pick, if you saw my review, of course, is Batgirl number 20. There are some times I love Gail Simone's work. There's other times I am indifferent towards Gail Simone's work. When she's writing Batgirl, I absolutely love her. And the reason why I absolutely loved this book was not so much for Batgirl. I mean, yeah, the emotional turmoil she's going through after issue 19 with what happened with her brother and her father was good. What really caught me about this was the new ventriloquist. I absolutely loved this ventriloquist. Now, I thought when I saw the cover, I wasn't sure. I knew we weren't going to get Arnold Wesker back, but I wasn't sure if we were going to get the second ventriloquist, Peyton Riley. But this is a whole new ventriloquist. I think she is a darker ventriloquist. I love how she looks. She's anorexic. Her skin is gray, even in the light. She's got this grayish tone to her. And Chief and I were talking about this. There's something going on between her and the dummy. We're not sure what it is.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's telekinesis or if it's some kind of mind control that she's doing, and she is really creepy. It's very like The Ring, kind of weird, almost Japanese horror style.
It is. She kind of had that look like from the movie The Grudge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the hair
exactly.
down in front. But absolutely love this, and I also love the last. Hold on, my thing just came up here, and it's just my logo. I don't know. Can you guys still see me?
Mm-hmm.
I can see you.
Okay, mine came as a logo. But there I am. What I really enjoyed also was the last page with Commissioner Gordon saying Batgirl is going to pay.
Absolutely, that's what I've been waiting for.
Because that's going to lead into the Batgirl Wanted story arc that's coming out soon in a couple issues. So Batgirl number 20, excellent work by everyone involved. My number 1 pick, I don't think it's going to surprise anybody whatsoever. Sonic Universe.
You're kidding.
The last couple of weeks, I have. Oh yes, I'm kidding you. And look, I got the Team Sonic variant, and my Team Mega Man variant is coming. They didn't ship it to the store. I'm getting the Team Mega Man variant. But Sonic Universe. This is part 5 of the Worlds Collide series, number 52 in Sonic Universe. We finally get to see what happened to all of Sonic's friends. We also learned that Mega Man has a new power that he got from Tails, and it's pretty cool. But some good battles, some good artwork. Love Sonic, and you always know if Sonic's out, it's probably going to be one of my picks. So Sonic Universe. And my honorable mention for the week is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe #2. I'm absolutely loving this. I loved the miniseries that was out earlier this year and last year. I love it. I don't know what direction they're going down, but I want to go down that whatever direction they're putting out there. This is a fresh new story. It's not an origin story that you always get. It doesn't really seem like DC rebooted anything too much, but there are there's some substantial changes that I absolutely love. So He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So to recap, I had Sonic Universe number 52. I had Batgirl number 20, Amethyst number 8, and with an honorable mention of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe number 2. Jules had.
I had My Little Pony number 7, Nova number 4, and Wolverine and the X-Men number 29.
And Chief.
Okay, and we can't forget the Alan Moore Beard of Approval this week, by the way. No more forgetting.
We kind of got in trouble. He's around here somewhere lurking. I can.
Alan Moore, where are you?
He's here. I know he's here.
Oh, there he is. He's angry.
He's angry. So, Chief, let's go through. Come on.
Recap.
Yeah, we're ready.
Iron Man 10.
Ready.
Iron Man 10, Nightwing 20, and Dream Merchant number 1. And my honorable mention, Adventure Time graphic novel Playing with Fire.
So we give them the we give them the Alan Moore Beard of Approval.
Everybody was missing it last week.
Everybody was missing it, and we got in trouble with Alan Moore. I mean, his beard was like tentacles attacking us. And
you woke up with a knock on your door, right?
I did. What's even weirder is he had Frank Miller's head on a pike. That was even weirder.
And Rob Liefeld was driving the car.
Yeah, he was. Oh, and Dan Slott was actually in the trunk. So, but let's get into
off Dan Slott. Spider-Man has never been better, by the way.
I agree.
It hasn't.
I feel so bad for him. All the people that just like hate on him. I just want to say
Ridiculous.
something. Yeah, it is.
I ain't gonna hate on him. I love the work he's doing
love
right
him.
now.
Yeah, I think it's great.
But let's go ahead. We got a couple topics we want to get into. So first and foremost, tonight is about a certain Canadian who has a penchant for alcohol, swear words, killing people without knowing consequences, and changing the scope of reality. Tonight we're talking about Wolverine. And we know, and I think Jules and Chief can agree with me, we have seen it on Twitter and everything. There are people that absolutely love Wolverine, and there are those that, for some reason, can't stand him. They're like, oh, we don't see the appeal to Wolverine. Why is he a popular character? And for them, I think they need their heads examined. But before we get into the full scale of Wolverine right now, we do want to say Savage Space Chief, Jules, and myself have been talking, and of course, Savage Wolverine is probably one of our favorite titles currently going right now in the Marvel Now line. There you go, Savage Wolverine. And Frank Cho is leaving the book.
Ooh.
Boo! That's what I say too.
Myself, I don't know. You guys can agree with me. You can disagree. I think Savage Wolverine's kind of like the new Marvel team-up book, but it's Wolverine teaming up. It's not you're getting two different people every week. It's every couple of issues, Wolverine's gonna team up with somebody new.
Right. I will say that the new artwork on the cover of the new one without Frank Cho looks really awesome. I'm gonna give it a chance for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a chance too. I'm just really sad about this because this is what started me to love Wolverine, this comic right here. So now I'm buying Wolverine and the X-Men, and I'm like trying to learn everything I can about him. So I just want to make sure that it's stays good, because I want to keep reading it.
Well, I think Frank Cho, when you look at Frank Cho's work, he has a very distinctive art style that is just beautiful. I mean, you look at Frank Cho compared to anything else currently going on, Frank Cho's art is just, it's completely different. It's like you know a Frank Cho book when you look at it. The same way you know a Jim Lee book when you look at it. And what I really enjoyed when I first heard about Savage Wolverine was him teaming up with Shauna the She-Devil. And how fitting is it that Frank Cho kind of brought Shauna back into the fold a couple years ago with his, with his Shauna the She-Devil book. And then the first story arc of Savage is Wolverine and Shauna. I think that is just simply fantastic. And then you look at... Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I actually did not read the early Frank Cho stuff. I didn't know that he was involved with Shauna. I'm learning all this. When I heard Savage was coming out at a '1 issue, I was like, I got to get that. And I've kind of familiarized myself with Cho's work since. But I've gone back and looked at some of his other artwork. It's fantastic. It's great stuff, and it's a disappointment that he's leaving. And back to you.
I'm gonna have a little newsreel pulling up here. Well, thank you very much.
I actually fell in love with Frank Cho because he did Liberty Meadows. I don't know if you guys have read Liberty Meadows. And
I haven't read it, but I know what it is.
It's so good. It's so funny, and the art is also amazing. So then when I seen this, it was like one of those moments where you just like walk into your comic shop and then there's like nothing else, and there was Frank Cho, Savage Wolverine, and I was like, so I knew that it was him, and I grabbed it, and so I've liked him for a while, and I hope that whatever he's doing next, I need to know so I can read it.
Well, what I really love is we get Wolverine, we get Shauna. And then all of a sudden, there's this Man-Thing type creature. We don't know if it was Man-Thing or a Man-Thing creature. And I think in that issue, what was that, issue 3, I want to say, with Man-Thing? Probably every guy's favorite panel was Shauna coming out of the Man-Thing ooze. And she's like slicking her hair back. It was kind of like Bo Derek. It was kind of like Bo Derek coming out of the water.
I think I might have that. Hang on.
Man-Thing ooze.
I don't know if it was 3 or 4.
The Man-Thing ooze. That's the PC thing. That's a PC way to put it. It's a Man-Thing ooze.
One thing that's kind of interesting about that is Man-Thing is known in Marvel Comics for being like a bringer of death. And in this comic, he rejuvenates life, which is kind of odd.
There it is. Why am I hearing a children's TV show?
So Noah's playing with Scout. He's still up. Oh, little cameo. No.
Cameos, we love the cameos. But no. The Man-Thing, was that issue 3, Jules?
That was issue 4.
Issue 4.
And then Frank Cho will be done with issue 6. Will be his last.
Whoa, we're all
That'll
left.
Be June.
What?
Are you guys there? Okay, everything went.
June 12th will be his last issue.
Don't tell me that. But we get that, and now he's bringing the Hulk into this whole thing.
Spin just went blank for a minute.
I'm here.
This
oh, there he is. Okay.
Twilight Zone. It's a Twilight Zone version of.
This is going to be the weirdest episode of Fail the Panel ever.
This is the greatest panel. Can you explain to me, though, how did the Hulk get into a pyramid in the Savage Land?
I don't know.
Does anybody? I'll admit it. I'm not following Indestructible Hulk. Is anybody following Indestructible Hulk and can tell me how the Hulk ended up in a pyramid in the Savage Land? in Frank Cho's head, how did the Hulk?
I cannot remember him being. In what issue is he in? Is the Hulk in the pyramid? I don't remember that.
What issue are we on right now?
It was the last. Wait, it was 4, wasn't it? Hang on.
Well, I think it was 4 because remember, it's Wolverine. There, the Shauna gets.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, pull it up.
Oh wait, Emma Bennett.
Don't.
Yeah, let's see the.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I bet. You know what I bet that is? I bet that is a construct of the pyramid built. That's kind of like the in Red She-Hulk. They found the pteronometer, which is a machine that kind of runs the planet. Like that they built from the. It is powered by the spin of the Earth or something, and it can predict future world events. It's kind of this weird thing that was put there from like the old version of Shield from like the beginning of time. And what it does is it, at different times through history, certain things have tried to invade it, and it's taken their essence and created guardians for itself. So I'm kind of wondering, like there was a Loki, a Doctor Doom, and a couple of other villains that it had taken their essence and made these constructs that defend the machine. So I'm wondering if this Hulk is the pyramid itself's defense mechanism.
Was one of them the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Wolverine. It would have fit had the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man tried to break into the pteronometer. He would have taken them. What it is, it takes all these powerful beings, because it's this powerful machine, like other beings that have tried to break into it in the past. Like Doctor Doom had found it and tried to break into it, but it repelled him, but took a little bit of him, his personality, his consciousness, and created this construct in the machine to defend the machine. So maybe the Hulk at one time or another tried to smash into that pyramid, and it's something similar to the pteronometer going on in Red She-Hulk.
Well, the only way we'll know is to read issue 5, right?
Exactly.
So you have to go by it. No, but I just thought one of the funniest parts in the whole Savage Wolverine is that he keeps getting speared and the same, like 3 times in the same exact spot. It's just hilarious because then, he says, of course he heals, but he says he says a bad word, and then he says this is never going to heal right, like 3 times. It's funny. And actually the Hulk does it to him here in the end of this one, and I don't know if you can see it, but
right in the same hole or something.
Right in the same exact spot, and he's like, unbelievable, in the same hole, basically. So I was cracking up with that. It's just funny. I love it.
But Savage Wolverine, love it. And Frank Cho, I can't wait to see what he's going to do next. Love his artwork. But sticking on the topic of Wolverine, I know we've had this conversation offline quite a few times, it's kind of like Crisis of Infinite Wolverines. He's
everywhere.
He's everywhere, and Chief ranted about it in Space Chief Rants. But, I mean, how can he be everywhere? He's running the Jean Grey School. He's with the Avengers. He's with the Uncanny Avengers. He's killing Ant-Man. He's extreme,
and he's traveling with Dazzler, I think. And it's like, what is going on?
He's in the Savage Land, and he doesn't know how he got there, and nobody's really looking for him. I mean, I understand Wolverine is popular, and I love anything Wolverine is in, but this is like too many Wolverines. And now he's got, if you read Wolverine #3, now he's got like this other team that he works with in this bar.
Yeah.
And they're like his own personal shield. It's kind of like the Scooby. It's kind of like Buffy. It's like his Giles and his Xander and his Willow, and they're all in a cult.
Part of that book, but I love that when he's like, I thought you didn't. When Nick Fury's like, he goes, and Wolverine's like, I actually like people. The people don't understand that they think this is my persona. Like I don't have friends, but these, he knows all these people in this bar. Like they're all like some weird, weirdly connected to metahumans or whatever. They're all like, and the one guy draws comic books, which I thought was funny.
I thought that was great.
Oh, see, I want to read that now. I actually am not reading that one right now.
It's great. He's antisocial, but I'm not. I got friends. And
see, that makes me want to read it because I love that. That's great.
Well, Jules, you can talk about, if we talk about number 29 of Wolverine and the X-Men, the first part of the book is Wolverine giving this speech to all the students. What I really liked was the page where he's talking, and you see all the students in the staff. So you saw Rogue, and you saw Storm. Even though we know Storm is currently chasing, is with the X-Force chasing Spindle or Spiral. And some reason Gambit was there. We know, and Gambit's off doing his own thing, and but Wolverine really seems to embody what Charles Xavier wanted in the school. But how can he be an effective headmaster if he's out chasing freaking 8-year-olds that have interplanetary guns, and he's hanging out with the ravishing, beautiful Shauna?
Fighting dinosaurs, time traveling with Dazzler, and he's in. Let's see. Oh, he made an appearance in Uncanny X-Force a couple of weeks ago, or last week, whenever that was.
Plus Ultron too.
But he's in so many books. Almost every Marvel book out right now has had an appearance by Wolverine in it so far, except for like Nova, Guardians, the stuff that has to do with the deep space stuff. Everything Earth related, Wolverine is in it.
And he's had like 3 appearances already in A+X. If you don't know A+X, it's like short stories teaming up an X-Men with an Avenger. And it's like he's had an adventure with the Hulk, and then he was playing cards with Captain Marvel, and I mean, and now I hear it's going to be him and Captain America are going to be doing one. He's every freaking where, and I love Wolverine. I don't know how I felt about him with the gray beard, with the white beard, though.
I actually kind of liked it. I don't know. I wasn't sure either, but...
Well, you got to think, if this is like the Green Gray School of Tomorrow and Wolverine the X-Men number 29, because you already know Wolverine's Wolverine's already older than Dirt. Now he's like...
He's 1,000 years old if he's got a white beard.
Let me see if I can get a good...
Now he's like fossilized.
he still looks good though, Let me see.
If he fought in the Civil War and he still looks like he's 25, then
there's something wrong.
This has got to be like 2099.
Give that a good one.
We'll discuss 2099 in a different show, probably.
I don't want to get. I'm so don't know what goes on in 2099 at all. I never read any of those titles.
I read some of them. There's so many.
I was shooting Spider-Man. I don't remember what the other ones were.
Yes, but it's kind of hard to see with the white.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I can see.
But I mean, come on, he's everywhere. Now I admit I like him in Age of Ultron because it's kind of like the Wolverine that I grew up with. Because when I grew up watching the X-Men cartoon, I always loved it when Wolverine would say, "I go where I want to go," or "I do what I want to do." So him killing Hank Pym, changing the whole course of the future, and then getting smart mouth with Tony Stark in the latest issue. I mean, to me, that was Wolverine. That was classic Wolverine.
I totally agree with that. That's the I'm the best there is at what I do, Wolverine. That's the hardcore take no prisoners Wolverine. I love that they brought that back. I also love the fact that Tony Stark addressed the problem that I had with the last Age of Ultron. With why didn't you try to talk Hank Pym out of this? Why didn't you put a subroutine in the Ultron program so it wouldn't do this? Why did you kill my friend? I love that Tony Stark himself brought that out and put that on the table, because that was really bothering me. Why couldn't there have been another solution besides cutting Ant-Man's throat?
But Wolverine comes back with him and is like, it would have done that. None of that would have mattered. He would have made the darn thing. If you had made it, you were there, you would have let him make the darn thing. Wolverine, it's like he's just like, hey, did I make a mistake? Sure, why? Yeah, okay, whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
he's pretty much saying the world was dead where I come from, so whatever I did wasn't going to make any difference.
Yeah, and Wolverine is one
and
that
then Morgan
would cross
Le Fay
that
comes
line.
down.
Yeah, and everything breaks loose. I just feel like Wolverine would be the one to cross that line where other superheroes wouldn't, But yeah, he did. Yeah, he said that that everybody was dead. So I mean, basically, he had to do it. That's what he thinks. But
Well, that's what
And
he's
we haven't
always
figured.
did.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chief. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say that there are currently 2 Wolverines in Age of Ultron, which is another thing. There's 2 Wolverines in this one. And they can't seem to figure out where the other one comes from. They know. I'm thinking the Wolverine that's in the alternate timeline with Tony Stark is a Skrull or is the Morgana Le Fay plant in their organization or something. Because they all say that this Wolverine that just came through and appeared is totally like Wolverine. And like Xavier said, I've read his mind. This is the Wolverine I know. I can say that this appears to be exactly what it is.
But on the flip side of that, it could be a clone, because you never know. One of the 22 previous clones that they tried to make, maybe in this alternate timeline, one of them did take.
Possibly.
Remember X-23 is the 23rd attempt to clone Wolverine. So maybe one of the 22 before that did take.
That could explain why he's everywhere. Maybe a bunch of the clones took. He's everywhere.
There he is. There, we have found the solution. There are clones. It's the clone.
Show over, everybody.
Please stay tuned for the next stunning episode with George Lucas with the Wolverine Clone Wars. Okay, play me off, Johnny. I'm playing. But Wolverine, I don't know why people hate him so much. Maybe it's because he is everywhere at once. But if you think about it, that's the way with a lot of characters. I mean, come on. Batman's everywhere over in DC.
Yeah.
He's in Gotham.
Too.
Say that again?
He's got about 20 titles running over in DC, too. So
He's got 20 titles.
Like he's got a bunch of different titles that are just, Batman this, Batman that, the regular Batman, Detective, Batman and Robin, Batman Inc.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on and on.
And I think he's guest appearing in Vibe next week. Was it this week, or I think it was this week? He was in Vibe, I think.
I didn't read it because I don't read Vibe.
Yeah,
but he is kind of brand new Earth 2 Batman. But we're getting off of Wolverine and talking about Batman.
Both are brooding. Both have had horrible pasts.
They've been characters smashed together as Dark Claw.
Dark Claw in the Amalgam comics. Jubilee was mixed with Robin. The Joker with Sabretooth.
Spider-Man and Superboy.
Lobo and Howard the Duck.
Or wasn't what was who was Lobo merged with? He wasn't merged with Wolverine too, was he?
No, Lobo was merged with Howard the Duck.
Seriously? Oh, I didn't. I just read the big graphic, the DC versus Marvel graphic novel. I think I read 1 or 2 other issues. I don't know what all the characters were.
It was Lobo the Duck.
Oh man, I gotta see that. I'm gonna buy that now.
Oh no, let me see. Storm was merged with Wonder Woman, and they became the Amazon or the Amazonian. Captain, I got them all. I got them all in this box
Superman.
right here. I got them all in this box right here. I'll pull. You know what? We'll do a separate show on all those, on all that. We're getting off topic. But notice I did work Howard the Duck into the episode again.
Hooray!
I'm going to create a little Howard the Duck, and he's going to go right here. He's going to go right here every time I talk about him.
He's going to have a cigar, too. Vic, do the one of him pointing with the cigar.
But I read all the Wolverine issues. I may not catch all the Avengers titles that he's in, but I do read. I read Savage. I read Wolverine the X-Men. I love him in all new X-Men, especially when the original X-Men come back and there's the young Cyclops, and he's basically just like he's like, I could pop my claws in the back of your head right now, and none of this would have ever happened.
Right. Yeah. That I love him in All New too. I think, and I love the fact that when they had the big battle on the lawn, he's right out there. He's got all of his students are watching him, but he's still ready to just slice and dice Scott Summers to pieces right in front of all of them, and that's the best thing in the world.
And what I really enjoyed was kind of the throwback was when the current Cyclops and his team come, that Magneto kind of gets Wolverine. I think that happened. If I remember correctly, that happened in the issue. He kind of gets Wolverine because of the adamantium.
It does. He says something like, "Oh, please, Wolverine," or something. He just lifts him off the ground.
Because we know that probably other than the Weapon X program, that was probably the worst part of Wolverine's life, was getting his adamantium just ripped out of his body by Magneto in X-Men Volume 2, number 25, Fatal Attractions. I have that over here somewhere. It's somewhere over here.
I think the reason that Wolverine and Frank Cho go so well together, I think the way he writes, I think that they're both really polarizing guys. You either love or you hate Frank Cho, and you either love or you hate Wolverine. So that was like a perfect combination for that comic book.
Well, it's kind of funny because I actually was looking up Frank Cho, and it said that he got banned from Facebook from I don't know if you heard about it. He got banned from Facebook because of his artwork. And I don't know if it was Facebook that did it or if somebody didn't like him and they reported him. I don't know. I didn't really get a lot of details, but I was like, Frank Cho? Who would ban Frank Cho from Facebook?
Wait a minute.
Other people getting banned from Facebook for posts that were ridiculous. I don't know why they would do that, but I think I heard something about that.
He had a statement too, like he didn't understand why. It was just from a picture he put up.
Wait a minute. So Frank Cho gets banned from Facebook because of his fantastic, phenomenal art.
Yeah.
Yet we have to put up with pictures of the Kardashians
I know.
that say, waking up, and it's like, I'm East Coast, so it's like 2 o'clock my time in the afternoon. You take 3 hours back, so what, noon time frame in California, and it's like, just waking up, and it's pictures of the Kardashians still in bed at noon. But Frank Cho's artwork is banned, but we still have to put up with the Kardashians on Twitter.
Yeah.
What is wrong with America?
That's what I was thinking.
What is wrong with you, America? Quit feeding the beast.
I wish I had the picture. Here. I don't have it to show you, but yeah. I thought it was great.
Why the Kardashians? Justin Bieber gets 1 million hits, and we can't even get Stan Lee to 1 million followers yet. That is wrong.
I think that we must have gone into some alternate universe. It's down.
If we're
black is white, together.
If we're in an alternate universe, where's the alternate Wolverine? There's got to be a Wolverine in this universe, and he's got to be ready to slice and dice somebody. If he slice and dices, you know what? I'm not going to say what I want to say because YouTube will ban me because I don't know. There's a Wolverine here somewhere.
But like I loved it. I was actually just trying to read through these the other day, and I loved in Savage that like, well, basically the humor is what I loved. But like, there was a scene where he was like telling her to be real still, don't move, don't move. She runs away, and then like the next panel, you just see one of the dinosaurs just like jumps on Wolverine. It was hilarious. And then she comes down, like as they're fighting, because he's like, ugh. She comes down and like takes him out, and then he's like, you know, it's just such a great team up with them too. So it's like I'm kind of sad about that.
And that is great, with the way she just annoys him to no end out in the Savage Land.
And then like when he's counting 1 Mississippi, because she's like, you got to do 1 Mississippi, and he's like, why? She's like, it spaces it out better. And then like you think he's not going to do it, and then he starts counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. That was hilarious.
And what about him when he's in like in Superior Spider-Man? After Doc Ock Spidey kills the one guy, his name's escaping me at this moment.
Massacre, is that the guy's name?
Massacre?
I think that's his name, but I could be wrong about that.
And then he goes and the Shield is all like, oh yeah, that's the Spider-Man, but Wolverine was still kind of leery.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was more or less like, all of the. I look around the room and all I see are spies and killers, and we're gonna get on him for this one thing, give the guy a chance to explain himself.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about Wolverine is I think he does give people the benefit of the doubt, because you got to think Wolverine was a spy. He is a killer. He's got skeletons in his closet a mile long with things that he's done.
There's stuff with Weapon X that are probably horrifying things he's done with Weapon X that we haven't even heard of yet,
I mean, when he was running around with Sabretooth and Maverick, and not Ryan Reynolds. Not Ryan Reynolds. He was not running around with Ryan Reynolds in Weapon X. Which, speaking of which, we got another Wolverine movie coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm skeptical. As you guys probably know, I'm a huge fan of the Miller Claremont Wolverine story, and that's what this is supposedly based on, where he goes to Japan. And from what I've seen of the trailers, it just looks so off to me. I don't know. I could be wrong, and I shouldn't judge a movie just from the 20-second trailer or whatever.
Is it him in the Neo Matrix trench coat that's got you thrown off?
It's a lot of stuff. It's it's just the look of it doesn't look right. The fact that the guy's trying to take his healing factor and his power away, that bothers me. And it's like, it seems to me if they took his healing factor away, the minute those claws pop, he's going to bleed to death. Yeah. So.
Hello. Shark bites off his legs.
I think we should write the next script.
And I would have just handed him the Miller Claremont graphic novel and said, "Here, do this."
Well, I mean, I know it's supposed to be, him going to Japan, and Silver Samurai's in it. Mariko is in it, and we all know Mariko. And Jules found a picture of that was drawn of Wolverine and Mariko. Mariko was,
Sure, and people should see it.
Yes, we'll get the picture up there. That way you can see it. But you gotta think Wolverine and Mariko were just perfect together. And unlike in the TV show Wolverine and the X-Men, where she ended up marrying the Silver Samurai, Chief, you know exactly what Mariko really did.
Let's go ahead and tell us. Reveal it for us, Spin.
Mariko got poisoned by a blowfish.
Blowfish, yeah.
She was poisoned from a blowfish by an assassin, and she asked Wolverine to kill her.
Yeah, that's what it was. You're right.
That way, to avoid a painful death and preserve her honor, and Wolverine did. Wolverine killed her.
And I was like, no!
See, I'm not even really sure actually what happened to her, because where my graphic novel ends off, they send the invitation for the wedding to the X-Men. The very last page is, "You are hereby invited to the wedding of Mariko and Logan," and that's the last that you see of it. And I didn't see whatever even really happened. So I tried to play it off and be cool, like, yeah, go ahead and reveal it. In actuality, I didn't really have any idea.
I should have known too, because I just read that. I just read that when we were talking about it last week, and I forgot already. But yeah.
The rest of that story continues on in X-Men and stuff. But the main gist of the Miller Claremont piece was that all the way up to where he defeats her father, and then they send out the invitation to the wedding, and at the end of it, I think it's Rogue and a couple of people are opening the invitation, and it shows the picture of them together with the wedding invitation.
Wolverine and the X-Men, I always felt was kind of more the off title than the other Wolverine titles, because this one, it is Wolverine, but it focuses a lot on the students of the New Jean Grey School.
Mm-hmm.
But you really see with Wolverine his care and how much he cares for these students, how he knows he can't be a headmaster. He's not the type of he's not a headmaster that Charles Xavier was. but he's doing everything he can to continue Charles's dream in this.
I really like this. You kind of see him like not killing people, not in the beginning, you know. So he's kind of just like bearing his soul to these kids, you know. And he says that Charles Xavier like was his family, like he considered him a dad, and so that I really liked it. I'm looking forward to the next issue. I wish it came out next week.
We're gonna call it a night on that. We hope we gave you a little bit of history on Wolverine. Go check him out. Next week, maybe we'll talk about why Abigail Brand is everywhere.
Let's do it.
All right, you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make we'll announce the topic of next week's show.
All right. Well, I say we'll talk about why Abigail Brand and Sword are playing a major role now and are everywhere in the Marvel Universe. 2, let's go ahead and let's rock out. Hold on, let me pull up.
I do have one thing to do before we go. I have to do my shout out, and then
Yes.
I almost forgot, but I just remembered since we're getting ready to go. Uh-oh. I lost you.
Yeah.
Oh, I went bye-bye?
Oh, there you are.
I'm here.
Sound went out for a second. I heard it click, and then there was nothing, and then I heard you again.
Oh, okay. I hear.
We can hear you now.
I hear.
Gotcha.
All right. So we're going to talk about Abigail Brand and Sword. Why are they everywhere? And you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's talk about with that. Let's talk about everybody's favorite person right now. Let's talk about Rocket Raccoon.
Yes.
So next week we're going to give you an intergalactic show. Abigail Brand and Rocket Raccoon.
Yay!
Yay.
And Space Chief, I know he's got a shout out to do, so go ahead. Let's shout it out.
I do. My good buddy Gabe Smith on Twitter has his comic Human. I think he said he sold like 1,000 already, so he is now in the Diamond catalog. And the book is actually going to be in your local comic shops on shelves in June, I believe. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Gabe and Human on Twitter. And he's a real good guy. He's a friend of mine, and so maybe if you can find the picture, it's right on Twitter somewhere. You can find it. You could put the little graphic of it here or over the whole screen, whatever. But Human Comics, go out and get it this June.
There you go. And of course, we're going to put his information in the bottom in the description center on YouTube. And if you want more information, follow us at Spin-Reviews on Twitter, and we'll have that information there. And as always, something new that we brought, not as always, but something new that we brought. Not only will you be able to see this episode on YouTube, but these episodes were now being broadcast in podcast format. So every week on SoundCloud, you're going to get the current issue, or the current edition episode, and the previous episode. You're going to get 2 episodes every week on SoundCloud. I'll put that down in the description. Check us out. That way you can take us wherever you go. If you're on the subway, on a bus, you can listen to us gibber on about comics.
You're exercising.
Yeah, exercising. You're doing your tabo and tabo, elbow, knee, Wolverine, schnick, schnick.
You're exercising, you can watch me drink a 60. And be glad you're not me.
So, from us here at Panel to Panel, I am Spin Dash.
Space Chief.
Jules.
And we are... saying... Good. We are saying to you... Nothing. Good. We are saying to you...
I'm on every pony, smile, smile, smile. Fill my heart up with sunshine. All I
doing for Grandma?